Welcome back, everybody. It is time for the off-season, going into year 4. We're coming off a wildcard loss against the Panthers, where we got essentially blown out, and the Panthers would go on to win the Super Bowl, their first one, over the Chiefs, who won last year. Bryce Young, your MVP of the Super Bowl, and now we're here. Aaron Donald has not retired. He is going to be on our team next season, thank God, because he's been a huge part of why this defense has been pretty good through these first couple of seasons. But the defense does need some more work. The offense for sure needs some more work. And we have a lot of signings and potentially a trade or two to make going into this offseason. So let's jump right in and get into this next week.
Quick side note, if you enjoy this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way.
In mock draft 3, they've got receiver Jerry Kelly going 2nd overall to the Texans. And then the other receiver who I liked, David Jackson, going at 17 to the Chargers. We'll see about that. And we have pick 21. They think we're going to take center Johnny Ramsey. I don't agree with that analysis, and I could very well see us trading up several spots to get David Jackson in this draft because I'm a big fan of him. I think he can bring another level to the offense that can help Craig out and get more looks to Cooper Kupp and Jermaine Donald and even Puka Nacua, so might be doing that here shortly at some point, but let's keep this going and enter free agency. So we come in with $95 million in available cap room, which is fantastic because we could bring in a lot of really good players, like maybe Ronnie Stanley, 90 overall left tackle. There's Joel Bitonio, maybe beef up this offensive line. I mean, why not? You've got the cap space to do it, and they will only be here for a year or two. Could go for a better punter. Ours has had a couple of shanks this year. Definitely thinking about that. There's also Ryan Jensen at center. So you could go with some veterans there. But besides that, there's really not a lot of good young talent available on the market. So we're going to have to kind of pick and choose what we do here. But I might focus a bit on the offensive line, and then what safeties are there available, we'll find out. Well, if you can sign Ronnie Stanley, then you can move Wills back to right tackle where he was before. At least I think that's where he was before. Because I think Stanley's better than Cam Robinson, and I would be totally okay bringing him in over Robinson for sure. And then for Bitonio, also intrigued by him, would be intrigued to bring him in and then move Nick Harris to a bench role and have Bitonio play center perhaps, or Avila or Kevin Dotson play center a little bit, but not opposed to making a deal healer either. So we'll make offers for both guys. That does take up a lot of our cap room, but we still have $52 million to spend elsewhere. At safety, there's really not anybody available that's like a huge upgrade over who we currently have. There is Jaron Kearse, who I'm a pretty good fan of. I'm not sure there's a real indication that Kearse will be better than Fuller was last year. And he only had 5 tackles for loss, no sacks, no INTs, 4 deflections. It's hard to use stats to determine who the best safeties are because there aren't a lot of stats to get. One thing I will do, though, is make an offer here for Taron Johnson. Bring him in as maybe our 3rd corner on the team behind Richards and DJ Reed. And Kearse can also cover tight ends. I think at the very least, he could step in as like a sub-linebacker kind of a role and be in, pass coverage on 3rd downs and stuff. At running back, you could go James Cook, but do we need to? No, he has not been good, and Herbert is coming off a decent year when he got playing time, so maybe you just stick with him. There's nobody that's really interesting out here, and Derrick Henry is down to a 75 at 32 years old. So I think Herbert's the guy for now. And then I think I will make an offer for Tommy Townsend just because Ethan Evans has made some awful punts. The Titans do have a better offer over us for Stanley, so I'm going to readjust my offer and offer a bit more. Right, cap on an extra little bonus. Now we do jump Tennessee, so hopefully he takes our offer, but it's not guaranteed. The top offer for Bitonio and for all the other guys. So let's evaluate and see what happens. And we have signed Ronnie Stanley, Joel Bitonio, Tommy Townsend, and Taron Johnson. Welcome to the team. Ethan Evans has been released. I want to bring in some defensive line depth and put available. Maybe bring in somebody like Drake Jackson, a young 25-year-old. Play a lot behind Hassan Reddick, perhaps. And behind Aaron Donald, too, who one of those guys will likely get hurt at some point next year. Seems to happen pretty frequently. And then a defensive tackle. I think you could bring in somebody, but then you still start Warren Terry next season. It's not sure I want to spend a whole lot on a defensive tackle who's not going to really play that much. You know, you could just draft another one and have a younger team. But I do like Sam Williams. I think he's a pretty solid edge rusher, and he seems to want to play here in LA, so why not make him an offer as well? Add more depth. All right, we're going to evaluate. And we have signed Curse and Drake Jackson. So Curse will start at strong safety for now. And so we're going to try and bring in Williams. He's also got an offer from the Seahawks. So I'm going to up this offer a little bit. Try and beat out our division rivals for him. And we've got him. So we have signed all the guys that we have targeted so far. A lot on defense, some offensive players, but just pretty much the offensive line. And now we got 25 million cap room. I don't know if I want to spend anything else. I think I'm not sure there's guys available that are worth picking up that are really going to give you a significant improvement on your team than what we've already done. Maybe bring back Ricard at fullback. I mean, he wants $5 million as a fullback. Dude, no, you are insane for that. Why do they want so much? Every fullback wants so much money. I'm just going to bring in, why not George Kopp? He seems to want to play. I'm just going to give this guy like a 4-year deal. And we got George Kopp, a new fullback. 4-year deal for him. Cool. So, made all our signings. I think we're good at $24 million. And now we can focus on the draft mainly now. Actually, you know what? I do want to sign a better backup tight end. At least just somebody. I'm a fan of Jake Ferguson, not going to lie. Let's see if he wants to come over here. And he does. Ferguson signs a 3-year deal to be a backup behind David Parson. We can still draft one too. And Ferguson then could be your 3rd tight end, but I wanted to get depth just in case. Now for your free agent recap. Here are all of your signings. You got Jalen Phillips to the Chargers, Awuzie to the Titans. We obviously signed Ronnie Stanley and Joel Bitonio. We also signed Tommy Townsend. Ryan Jensen goes to Green Bay. Grady Jarrett to Chicago. Tyrann Mathieu over to Cincinnati. G. Edwards goes to Tennessee. James Cook to Los Angeles, but not for us. Not for us. DeMarcus Lawrence leaves Dallas for Chicago. Interesting stuff there. That's pretty shocking. Amani Hooker to Pittsburgh. David Andrews to Denver. Isaiah Hodgins to Carolina. Kenny Moore to Green Bay. Trent Brown to the Colts. Taron Johnson to us. Von Bell to Tennessee. Jimmy Ward to the Jets. Jeff Okudah to Houston. Grover Stewart to Atlanta. Jermaine Pratt to the Chargers. Alex Kappa to the Giants. Armstead leaves us for the Broncos. Cam Robinson is going to be the new left tackle in Tennessee. Dalvin Cook's going to be playing in New Orleans. Dante Jackson over in Detroit. Desmond King in Indianapolis. And more. Do they still have the receiver going to Chargers? No. They've got... Where is he? Did I pass him? They've got David Jackson dropping all the way to 31 now for Kansas City. Just take a look at his player card one last time. He is a... Whoa, his speed has kind of dropped off, huh? I thought it was going to be better than this. I guess this is why. He's running a 4.47, a 4.49. That's not bad at all, but definitely worse than you thought initially. A, ball carrier vision, A to B awareness, break tackle, carrying, A, deep route, B, juke move, B, spec catch, good run blocking, good spin move, good release. He's still a good player to get. He's still one of my favorite players in this draft, despite not being, you know, too fast. Meanwhile, Jerry Kelly, the top 5 receiver, apparently has solid speed as well. He's slower, so okay, I think I can feel good about David Jackson for us. He's a better athlete overall than Jerry Kelly is, and honestly might be a better prospect in general. Both guys are pretty damn good. Kelly's got top 5 talent, though we don't know what the talent is for Jackson because we don't have him fully scouted, but it's a 1-2 talent for Keon Clifford. Offord's got round 1 talent, and then need a bit more to know about David Jackson for sure. Might use it on him, but might not. Might be smart to use it on a couple other players for the private workouts that we have left, which we're going to use right now. Yeah, so Javon Kramer's a round 1 talent. I think I wanted to use this stuff on, I believe it was somebody like Zach McCoy, and then I'm still thinking about Brian Hightower at safety as a possible pickup. A couple of round 1 safeties that you could go after, but I think what I'll use the stuff on is Zach McCoy. You know what? I will use it on David Jackson too because I just really want to know what his actual talent is. And then the last one, I'd be smart to use it on like a mid-round talent. I guess we did with Zach McCoy, but maybe Zach Ellis. Get more info on him as a power back. Why not? So we get 100%, and actually Jackson is actually not that good of a prospect. Around 2 to 3 talent now instead. So definitely not going to be trading up for him now after seeing that. Now we have the just full report. He's not a good route runner at all, except for deep route. Stamina very, very low. Catching is only a C. That is a big concern. So he's a playmaker, but he does have some mental mistakes that he makes, dropping the ball and concentration drops. All right, so that does clear things up, at least about him. And then for Zach McCoy, we're up to 90% on him now. And I know that we just signed 2 offensive linemen, but this guy's still a great offensive lineman. Very quick, very strong, and really only has to work on the pass and run block power, but he fits our scheme perfectly and is probably better than Nick Harris, or just about, because he looks to be good almost immediately as a mid-round pick. So I'm probably going to be drafting him, and then if so, might just start him, or, you know, whatever. But who knows what we're going to do with Joel Botelho. We have a lot of things that we can do with the offensive line, so who knows. But he's on him. And then the last guy was Zach Ellis, the running back. Solid speed, good strength. One's a 4.53, 4.5, around there. Can't juke, but can stiff arm, can truck, can break tackles, good vision, good carrying. He's actually a pretty decent pass blocker. A to B pass block on that. So probably, you know, just a typical decent running back pick. Nothing special, though, from what I can tell. All right, so in that case, I'm just going to boot Jerry Kelly up above Jackson. I'm going to put the other 2 receivers, Trevor Offord and Keon Clifford, over him too. I still might trade up for one of these receivers, but let's compare Offord and Clifford real quick. We already know about Kelly, but this is the wrong guy. This is the center. Here's the receiver, Trevor Offord. So this guy's got 8 catching. Good athlete. He's faster, which is good to see. But he's a bad deep route runner, decent medium and short route runner, good spec catch, spin move, ball carrier vision. Break tackle is good. Stamina is pretty low. Decent run blocker, not the best awareness. Carrying is pretty low. Still is catching traffic. Release out of C. So he's pretty well rounded. The only bad thing is the deep route running. Everything else can easily get to a good level soon if it's not already. And he's got A catching as well, and a round 1 talent for sure. So Offord's a pretty damn solid pick here. Definitely better than David Jackson. And for Keon Clifford, he is slower than both players, but better awareness, good ball carrier vision. Only D for him is catching traffic, and he is a pretty decent overall route runner with B deep route, C short and medium. Catching at B, spec catch, spin move, round 1 to 2 talent, so maybe not as high of a talent as Offord. So Offord's going to be a higher overall, but Clifford has B stamina compared to F for Trevor Offord, so he's going to be out there more. But the other guy's faster. His injury is B. Offord's was B as well. Offord's not a bad pick despite the stamina, because that just would give you more opportunities for a guy like Puka Nacua as the 4th receiver if you do draft Offord. So that could work out pretty well, actually, and give you a nice balance. He's also just got more reliable catching skills than Keon Clifford does. And he's faster too, which is what I'm looking for. I need guys that can make separation now. So I think you go Trevor Offord. These guys are both playmaking archetypes. So if you do go for a receiver, probably Trevor Offord is the guy to go for. And then you can focus on, whatever else you want to, safety or offensive line or corner or something elsewhere. And again, the mock draft had Offord going at pick 12 to Chicago. So we'll get to around that pick 11, pick 12, and see where things are at, and might trade up depending on where or how things are looking. And here we go. The draft has started. The Saints are on the clock with the first pick in the draft. And with this pick, they select linebacker Clayton Jones out of Michigan State. He goes first overall. The Texans, another top 5 pick. They take Jerry Kelly. So they're going to have a pretty nasty team with Stroud at quarterback. The Browns at pick 3 select Tavon Whitfield out of Florida. Cardinals take a quarterback, Joey Simpson out of Arizona. Their new franchise guy. The Patriots take right tackle Zach Phelps. Dolphins take Chris Phillips out of Michigan State, so they had 2 linebackers go in the top 6. Dave Wiggins out of Michigan goes to the Steelers. The Niners take Felix McIntosh. The Vikings on the clock go for Mike Kopp, a new quarterback over there. He comes out of UCF. The Broncos take quarterback Ben Meeks, another franchise quarterback taken here in the top 10 picks. And now pick 11, we're going to stop after this one. The Lions select Ross Leach. It's pretty much gone tit for tat as the last mock draft said. So let's go ahead and at least see what they would want for this pick. We almost got a deal done here. So we're offering a trade up plus our 2nd round pick next year and our 4th this year. It's almost done. Let's confirm this now and just give up like a 7th in the future or something. 2028. And get this deal done. And they say yes. All right, we're going for Trevor Offord, everybody. We've made the trade up. I think it's worth doing for a guy that we think can be a big playmaker for this team. Here we go. Trevor Offord, round 1 talent. Tell me that he's hitted, please. He is. Let's go. 92 speed, 95 change of direction, 95 acceleration, 90 agility, 82 jumping. Trevor Offord, welcome to Los Angeles. A pretty big move to make, but it's been done. Brought in a new receiver. We'll see if that'll help the offense out. After our pick, the Commanders go for Enrique Phillips out of Oklahoma. Chip Hendricks goes to Las Vegas. Jonathan Ramsey is drafted by the Giants. The Jets draft Randy Duhan, who was on our draft board. There goes Keon Clifford to the Chargers as expected. Seahawks take corner Marcus Green. Titans draft Justin Robinson. Falcons take Marcos Villarreal out of North Dakota State. And the Bears, on the clock after the trade, take Dalton Hilton out of Oklahoma. So they go from receiver to linebacker instead after the trade back. Packers take Alex Hernandez. The Ravens go Braxton Davis. Javon Kramer is going to be in Cincinnati. That was that really good tight end that we thought about. The Bills take Craig Woods. Ramon Robinson to Tampa Bay. Juan Clifton to Dallas. Jaguars select Denzel Wiggins. A lot of offensive linemen here in the first round. The Colts go with Parker Sprinkle, another tackle. And then Brian Hightower goes to Philadelphia. So he goes at pick 30. Chiefs select David Jackson. Okay. So that's where he goes. And the last pick of the first round, Cameron Sims to the Panthers. Now we're through the first round. Time to sim all the way up to our pick. To be honest, I feel like you can wait on McCoy for one more round, hopefully. If not, you know, I'm going to go pick by pick. Might trade up again if I see one of these other guys get taken at center. I do want to bring in another center just to have a lot of depth on the offensive line, because we could easily just toy with things and just move things around and see which works best. So here, instead, I think I'm going to take Jeff Reinhart as another young tight end that can really contribute on offense. And he's got a lot of ball skills, good speed for a tight end, great strength as well. I think he's worth at least taking a shot for, so let's do it. Jeff Reinhart, normal dev, but to be a pretty solid athlete. We'll see about him after this draft is over. All right, so Kurt Dunn just went with pick 5 in the 3rd round. Sit until the next one goes, and then we'll trade up to get our guy. Well, there goes Gregory, so now it's the Vikings on the clock. Let's consider a trade up here. Vikings do have center on their list of needs, so we are going to try and get this done. And we have traded up 12 spots up to this 9th pick in the 3rd round. We, of course, give up our 3rd round pick, plus a 6th round pick and 5th round pick this year, and a 6th in 2 years this time. So I think we're just kind of focusing on these top picks in this draft, because I don't think we need to have, you know, 7 draft picks in this class, because we already have so many guys on the roster, so no point in doing that. But now we can take Zach McCoy, who's still here, and I think he's very much worth it. Welcome, Zach McCoy, and he's also hitting. You don't get this very often for your offensive lineman. Let's go. I think that'll be a pretty good pick for us down the line, but let's keep going. Our next pick comes in the middle of the 6th round, and we pretty much have no info on anybody else besides 50%. And we do need some linebacker depth, I believe. Definitely could use one at left as a linebacker. So the scheme fit for that is power rusher. So I think we'll just take a shot here on Joe Styles, who was supposed to go in the 2nd or 3rd round, but has not been drafted yet. And he's not the best athlete, but he's got good injury, good block, or decent block, decent finesse moves. He's not going to be able to work in coverage, but he's not going to be asked to. So let's just see if he is decent at all. And he's hitting Dev. Whoa. Let's go. Well, that is a lucky break, but now it's time for the moment of truth. Gonna sim to the end. That was all of our picks. We had like, what, 4 draft picks in total after the trades? So let's see what happens. Contract details. And wow, we had a pretty damn good draft for what we took. Trevor offered a 76 overall. Reinhardt a 76 overall. Zach McCoy's a 72. And Styles is a 63. But as said in dev, so it could become like a 70 overall by years end if we focus training on him. But let's check out this very small draft class. But Trevor offered, first up, 76 Hayden Dev. rookie, 92 speed, 78 catching traffic, 85 catching. That's pretty damn good. 85 spec catch, 90 agility, decent short and medium route. Deep route needs work, but it's not in a terrible place, and releases in a pretty good starting place. So he's got aggressive catch, possession catch, run after catch, fight for yards, on big hits, cover the ball. Pretty solid pick. Pretty similar player as to Tremaine Donald, but has a bit more speed. It can hopefully give us another level to the offense. So it's kind of the goal there. And then Reinhardt will be the backup behind Parson for sure. Normal dev, but already a 76, 83 catching, 82 speed, 87 acceleration, decent awareness, catching traffic, and spec catch are pretty solid. Route running's not very good except for short. Still needs some work. And not the best blocker, but he's not terrible. Then you had Zach McCoy, the center. 72 agile, 87 strength. He's got pretty decent run and pass block finesse. Run block overall is pretty solid. Pass block is decent. Lead block is pretty good. Impact block is good. Awareness is pretty solid as well for a guy just out of the draft. 77 speed, good stamina, 81 injury. Now we've got some real depth on this offensive line. We got to figure out how to put this together. Probably going to start Harris over McCoy for now, but he is going to be the future starter. And then lastly, Joe Styles, the hidden dev linebacker. Pretty much a jack of all trades, master of none. Definitely cannot play in coverage at all, but he's got power moves, finesse, and blocks at all around a pretty similar level. So if we can work on all three of those, he could be a pretty well-rounded player in a couple of seasons and could be a really good contributor within a year or two. So good injury rating, so he will hopefully be pretty much always healthy. And I'm going to try and get him as much playing time as possible as a backup. Enough about us, though. What about the rest of the draft, the rest of the league? Who are the top draft picks? Mike Kopp is a pretty high overall, 79. Wow. Over in Minnesota, so he's pretty solid. Ramon Robinson, the corner, is pretty damn good. Jerry Kelly was a 77, so he was a good pick. Was he hidden dev? No, he was normal. Whoa. So I think he'll be a really good player, but might have to work to get a higher dev trait. That's pretty interesting. I'm glad we didn't, go all out for him. Then there's Sean Strickland, 77 overall. Johnny Ramsey was a 77. He was drafted by the Bears. Sergio Robinson, 77. Zach Elam, 76. There's Reinhardt right there. Trevor Rofford at 76 too. Marcus Green, Miles Yates, Javon Kramer was a 76. And he was hidden dev. So slightly better than Reinhardt, you would think. But they're both at a good starting place. Best third-round pick was Cam Wilkins, left guard. He's going to play in Tampa. I mean, a pretty damn good draft class. A lot of solid players here. Your fastest guy was Miles Smallwood, a wide receiver over in Carolina. The strongest player was defensive tackle Jawara Whiteside. He's going to play in San Francisco, which is bad for us. Trevor Rofford has the most catching with 85. Next high is Reinhardt with 83. So we got the two players that will be the most reliable catchers, which is good to see. Highest catch in traffic, Jerry Kelly at 82. Highest spec catch, 87 for Jeremiah Rosemond. Best release, 85 for Kelly. That's pretty damn good. Jumping, 97 for Kelly. Yeah, he's a pretty good athlete, all things considered. Highest block shed, Calvin Barrington. Highest finesse moves, Marcos Villarreal. Highest power moves, Justin Robinson. Highest intangible grade, Ramon Robinson, Mike Kopp, and Jimmy Clifton. Interesting. But that's your draft. That's your draft pretty much. Our last look at the draft class that we brought in. I think it'll be a pretty damn good one, all things considered. Considering we got two pretty good offensive players to add into the mix. And a good offensive linemen, and we made some solid pickups as well in the free agent market. So that's your offseason, everybody. Let's take a look at the roster once we get it all set up. So going through our depth chart, trying to get everything set up, and I think that I'm going to put McCoy over Nick Harris because he's got much higher speed and strength. Awareness is a bit lower, but I think McCoy just has better ratings that can just make a difference. So I'm just going to start McCoy because he's a rookie. Harris is pretty old, so we're going to play McCoy over Harris for now. So the rookie will start with a couple of other really good offensive linemen. At right guard, I'm trying to decide between Avila and Dotson because we're going to have Bitonio play left guard. And I think for Avila, he's got worse speed than Dotson, worse strength. I think we'll start Dotson for now, but Avila's been pretty damn good too. So now we have players to choose from here, which I really like. So we'll do Dotson, then Avila, then Ellerby over here. Or I guess we can just have Avila be the backup left guard behind Bitonio, and then give Fitzsimmons the right guard role behind Dotson for now. And then at right tackle, we're going to put in Jedrick Wills, of course, and have McClellan back him up here. There you go. All right, we have our lineup set, everybody. Here we go. Here's what the offense looks like. In your offensive line, we're going to have Ronnie Stanley at left tackle, Joel Bitonio at left guard, Zach McCoy at center, Kevin Dotson at right guard, and Jedrick Wills at right tackle. At tight end, we're going to have David Parson, followed by Jeff Reinhart and Jake Ferguson. At receiver, we're going to have Cooper Kupp as the 1. Trevor Alford will start the season as the number 2, followed by Tremaine Donald and Puka Nacua. Then you've got running backs Khalil Herbert, Zach Evans, and Devon Shade, with fullback George Kopp. And then you, of course, have your quarterback Damon Craig, followed by Chris Bolton, or Chad Bolton rather, and Stetson Bennett IV. But in this offseason, Craig has worked on his decision-making, and now he has moved from conservative to ideal. So what will that change going into next year? Who knows, but we're going to find out next episode. Then we go to our defense. Here's what it looks like as of right now. Your linebackers are going to be Kenneth Murray Jr., Ernest Jones, and Chris Barnes, alongside Quincy Basnight and Byron Young. At safety, you've got Jaron Kearse, your new starter in place of Jordan Fuller, and John Johnson, who I unfortunately cannot find a good replacement for, so we'll see if the secondary can improve this year or not. But we got Kearse over Fuller. Johnson is still here. At corner, you've got Darius Richards entering his 3rd season as the X-Factor #1 corner, followed by DJ Reed as the 2, and then Taron Johnson as the 3, followed by Duke Shelley and Terry Hackett. Then on your defensive line, you of course have Aaron Donald at right end, followed by Sam Williams and Kobe Turner. At left end, Hassan Reddick, followed by Drake Jackson and Ernest Brown IV. Then at defensive tackle, Warren Terry will start the season as our starting D tackle, followed by Dante Childers. Kobe Turner will get some playing time there, as well as will Ernest Brown. And then we got Miles Hendricks down here as well. So kind of thin at D tackle, but this will give some lower depth chart players behind Donald and Reddick more playing time at that position. So that's who we got. We've also got backups Michael Hoyt, Nick Hampton, and Joe Styles at linebackers. So that's your team right there. We've also, of course, brought back Graham Gano, and we signed Tommy Townsend, so slight change there. And then for specialist, we're going to have Taron Johnson play as the slot corner. And we're going to bring Byron Young back as that rushing left end, because last year it was Reddick, but I think it needs to be Young, the actual X-Factor on the team, alongside Donald at rush D tackle. We're going to have Quincy Bansley be the rush right end as usual. Kenneth Murray, the sub linebacker. But behind him, we'll have Kearse in case he's hurt or something. We'll have Herbert be the 3rd down and power back, and Kupp in the slot at receiver as well. So that is your team. That's your lineup. That's where we're at. I'm expecting much, much better this season, folks. Much, much better. But that is going to be it, folks. What do you guys think about our signings, about our draft, about the moves that we made, about the lineups? Let me know down below in the comments, and we will get into year 4, opening day next time around. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you guys in week 1, next episode. Peace out.